the ban on charcoal production countrywide? In B, what awareness programs are in place to sensitize the public on the ban and the implications of charcoal production to the environment? And in C, what sustainable and affordable alternatives to charcoal are being promoted, especially in rural areas where people are highly dependent on charcoal?
Yes, indeed. So Mr. Chingamyutu, Kalabo Member of Parliament, is also expected to ask the Minister of Health in A, what measures the government is taking to promote mental health in communities countrywide, and B, if there are no such plans, why?
And we also expect Ms. Marjorie Nakapunda. There you have it, the Speaker's procession making its way to the chamber. We take you to the floor of the House.
Honorable Members of Parliament, Madam Speaker. Yeah.
Sing of Zambia, proud and free, land of work and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for our rights. We want freedom's fight, oh, and strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by God to blend. Let us all our people join as one, brothers under the sun, oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace in Zambia's sky, like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free. Praise be to God.
The offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. Society and the just government of the people. We beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us your servants whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, I have two announcements to make. Oh, the quorum is not. Okay. The whips.
Good morning. Thank you for being with us on Parliament Television. Bells are ringing, which signifies that a quorum is not present. it is a requirement that 1/3 of members of parliament need to be present for business to be transacted on the floor of the House. We do expect business to resume once a quorum is constituted. So just now we run you through what we expect the House to consider or what is contained in today's order paper, Friday 14th February 2025. We do expect some announcements from Honorable Madam First Deputy Speaker. Just now we take you to the floor of the House.
So, honorable members, please, the whips, it's too early not to have a quorum. It's too early. Just the first week. Maybe it's the rains, but we can do better. So I have two announcements to make. Honorable members, I wish to inform the House that the following ministerial statements that were supposed to be presented to the House: the effect of the suspension of aid from the U.S. government and on load shedding, they'll be rendered to the House next week. I thank you. The second announcement, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of visitors from China Janseo Corporation for International Economic and Technical Cooperation, Zambia Limited in Lusaka District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. I thank you. You may be seated. We make progress. We move now to urgent matters without notice. The Honorable Member Fonkana.
Madam Speaker, I rise on an urgent matter without notice, which matter I would like to direct to the Minister of Home Affairs. Madam Speaker, law enforcement agencies, in particular the police, are there to guarantee peace and safety of our citizens. Part 3 of our Constitution speaks to our rights and freedoms and liberties. Madam Speaker, it has become a trend today, Madam Speaker, that the police, through their spokesperson, has continued to threaten citizens on any enjoyment of their rights to freedom of speech. Madam Speaker, I rise on this very serious matter because this trend is becoming worrying. It started with the Minister of Home Affairs himself when he went on a press briefing or conference and threatened that every citizen or any citizen that is going to discuss the health of the president will be prosecuted. Madam Speaker, in this country, the health of the president is a public matter, and the health of the president is subject to public scrutiny. Madam Speaker, abduction. He cannot question me whether I'm normal, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member,
what I will say to him will be very
Honorable
bad.
Member, you are given the floor to raise your matter. Don't engage other members. You are talking to me.
You must censure him.
Honorable Member, you are addressing me, not the honorable members on the right. You have to be focused.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the word abduction simply means one being taken by force. It can be by an individual or even the police. In the recent past, citizens have been disappearing only to be discovered days. by the actions of the police. That amounts to abduction. And the police today are now threatening citizens who are going to suggest that such actions do not amount to abductions. Madam Speaker, is the Minister of Home Affairs in order to now create Zambia like it was a farm where citizens cannot speak, where citizens cannot enjoy their freedoms to speak? Is he in order to go out threatening citizens every time they try to enjoy their freedom to speech? I seek your indulgence.
Order, honorable members. Order. The honorable member Fonkana, you brought in so many issues in your matter without notice. You talked about the police, then you even said, no, it's the Minister of Home Affairs himself. Then you talked about another issue of adoption. So according to the rules here, urgent matters without notice, it is raised within 24 hours of its occurrence. It deals with only one issue. But your description or the way you presented this matter, it was just too broad. Moreover, it doesn't qualify under urgent matters without notice. So I will advise the honorable member to find another platform to bring his matter back to the House. Otherwise, it doesn't qualify as urgent matter without notice. We make progress. I have permitted the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security to present a ministerial statement. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, let me thank you for giving me the opportunity to issue a ministerial statement on the prevalence of thefts from motor vehicles at Kafue roundabout in Osaka district. Following trending videos circulating on social media in which criminals are seen stealing from motorists along Kafue Road near the Kafue roundabout, Zambia Police Service intensified patrols along that area. Madam Speaker, we strongly condemn the recent spate of criminal activities targeting motorists in Osaka at Kafue roundabout. The theft of valuables and personal belongings from vehicles is not only a serious crime, but also a threat to the safety and well-being of our citizens. We urge all motorists to remain vigilant and take necessary precautions to secure their vehicles and belongings. We also call on anyone with information about these crimes to come forward and assist the authorities in bringing the perpetrators to justice. Madam Speaker, I'm happy to report that we have taken steps to ensure that the property and safety of the motorists and the general public are secure. The Zambia Police Service, working with other law enforcement agencies, have apprehended 12 suspects from 12th to 13th February 2015. 2 of whom were identified from the closed-circuit television footage. The Zambia Police Service has also recovered properties whose owners have not yet been identified. We encourage members of the public to come forward and identify their properties. Madam Speaker, the safety and security of our community is our top priority, and we will not allow and tolerate any form of criminal activity. Our police officers will continue to work closely with other law enforcement agencies to prevent and combat crime and to ensure that our communities remain safe and secure all places. To ensure the safety of our motorists and the general public around the curfew roundabout and other areas, we have taken the following measures. 1. Conducting undercover operations to help identify and disrupt theft rings. 2. Deploying police officers to deter thieves and provide a visible presence. 3. Engaging with local traders around the area to help build trust and encourage reporting of suspicious activities. 4. Working closely with the traders around the area to identify the criminal elements. 5. Encouraging the community around that area to remain in their trading spaces to make it easier for the police to identify loiterers around the area. 6. Encouraging victims to report and help with the identification of the apprehended suspects. 7. Launching public awareness campaigns to educate motorists on the risk of theft and providing tips on how to prevent it. 8. Posting warning signs around the area to alert motorists to the risk of theft. And 9. Deploying CCTV cameras under the Safe City project. Madam Speaker, in conclusion, the Zambia Police Service, supported by the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security, remains resolute in its commitment to maintaining law and order. Our priority is to ensure the safety and security of all citizens. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members are now free to ask questions on points of clarification on the ministerial statement presented by the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. The Honorable Member for Kwacha.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for that ministerial statement that you have just presented on the floor of the House. Indeed, Honorable Minister, there is a lot of thefts going on around that particular area, Kafue roundabout, and also elsewhere. But the concern is the number of police officers that are supposed to man the area. They are very few. We have seen a number of road traffic police officers manning the roads, almost on each particular road that you pass through. Why can't you give directives to the police command to reduce on the road traffic officers, and those officers that will be removed from the department can be deployed to go and offer security, not only at Kafue roundabout, but even in other places. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to thank my colleague for that very important question. Madam Speaker, I just want to mention that we have put measures to ensure that we minimize the occurrence of crimes in these specific areas. I will not disclose the measures we have put in place specifically, but I can just assure you that the situation will be different from the way it was. I've taken note of the issues which my colleague has raised pertaining to traffic officers. There are other measures we have put in place. You may have noticed in the last few days the reduction pertaining to roadblocks around the country. Members of the traffic section are being reoriented to ensure that they should not only be provide security, traffic checkpoints, but also to provide security. We have taken measures and taken note of the issues raised by my colleague.
The Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Minister, for that ministerial statement. Honorable Minister, we have seen an increase of the young people, the junkies, actually patronizing, especially in the central business in Osaka, who are really terrorizing citizens. And if no urgent measures are taken, Honorable Minister, to contain this situation, these junkies, the young people, may develop into hardcore criminals. Do you have any plans as a ministry working together with the Ministry of Community Development to round up all these young people and take them to rehabilitation centers so that our streets are safe? I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Honorable Mutayachalo. Honorable Mutayachalo, you have raised an issue which I would like to address, and which issue touches on the rights of individuals as said by others. You have said we should round up those individuals and move them from the streets. For those always who want to champion causes that do not support the interests of the country, they will rise again to say we are violating the rights of citizens. But as a responsible government, I agree with you. Because the rights of one person are subject to the rights of the general populace of the country. That is how it is. Where your rights end, the other people's rights start. We will take appropriate measures, and we have been doing that. I can assure you that some of those youths whom we are calling junkies, they were removed from the streets and they are being rehabilitated, working together with the community development and the Zambia National Service. We are doing everything possible. You will also have to note that this phenomena of street kids started a long time ago. And we have been discussing this matter on the floor of this House. I would like you to visualize as to what would happen and what would have happened to those who were street kids 20 years ago. Where are those individuals? Who is looking after those individuals? My analysis is that those are the ones who are doing all these heinous crimes around. They were former street children, and because of the negligence on the part of government then, they have become criminals. Those who were street children some time back are the same ones who are terrorizing motorists in along Kafio Road and other places. It is the responsibility of all of us to take this matter seriously pertaining to street children, rehabilitate them, and make them start a new life. I will not mention a country, but you heard and you have read what that other country did. They rounded up those street children, took them to a certain place and shot them. But we are a law-abiding country. We cannot do such things. So it is our responsibility, working together, to find a solution pertaining to street children. Otherwise, we'll continue having these problems.
The Honorable Member for Solwezi East.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Always a pleasure to make follow-up questions. Minister, in your statement, I have not heard you talk about the police emergency lines. You find that if one is under duress, you call 991 or 3131. It will just go unanswered or not even responding. Can't you come up with a high-tech method of having emergency lines such that if one calls immediately it picks the nearest, let's say, police station. Like the way we have the Yango method. If I want to book a Yango, it will immediately pick the nearest car around. And if we have such kind of innovations, anyone who is either abducted or pounced on by these criminals can simply dial a line that is so effective and it will easily be picked by the police. Any innovation like that? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to appreciate the question being raised by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Solwezi East. Madam Speaker, we have gone beyond the 991. There are other toll-free lines that are accessible to members of the public using the mobile providers. They are available. I'll ask the Police Publications Unit to publicize those numbers. We also have other toll-free lines at the Safe City, where members of the public can easily access. We'll publicize so that members of the public can have access.
The Honorable Member for Chitambo.
Madam Speaker, I'm grateful. Honorable Minister, what is happening on Kafue Road is also happening on Great North Road because of the traffic jam that mounts on that road. Yes. Now the question is, most of these thieves disguise as street vendors, or I don't know whether we might call them road sellers, I don't know. What are you going to do about these ones who are disguising themselves as sellers? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to appreciate the Honorable Member of Parliament for Chitambo for raising that particular question. If you heard me clearly, I did allude to members of the public who are trading along the roads. I didn't want to call them street vendors. I called them traders who liaise with the Ministry of Local Government and Housing and also the Ministry of Health, for it is also a health issue, to ensure that we have a lasting solution. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Ron.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Minister, thank you very much for the response. And I want to appreciate you for the measures that you are taking place, which measures you have outlined in your statement. Honorable Minister, one of the reasons I believe that is causing that is because of the crowded area. That area is so crowded such that these thieves became so insolent in a manner that even when they see something in the car which interests them, they were becoming so determined even to force the door open even if the door is locked. Now, because of the crowded area, they were not even scared to run, but they would simply walk nicely with the item that they have grabbed from the car. Are you not considering, amongst the measures that you have put in place, working in a multi-sectoral approach with the Ministry of Local Government, or indeed the Ministry of Infrastructure, to put up a barrier at that island so that there is no crisscrossing from one lane to this lane and into the more that side? If you did put up a barrier there, Honorable Minister, just like that barrier which is after that roundabout going to Kafue, I believe it will reduce the crowding of those two lanes. Aren't you thinking of doing that with the Minister of Local Government? I submit, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you. Honorable Member of Parliament for Ron, I just want to appreciate your proposal and suggestion, which proposal is going to be considered by myself, the Minister of Infrastructure and the Minister of Local Government and Housing. It's a brilliant proposal.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Luwasenshi.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, issue of security is really critical. Now, I'd like to seek your opinion on
measures that you are putting in place regarding to the same matter that we are considering. Looking at the level of safety, let me talk about the Zambia police officers who have been managing issues of security in this country. You, PND, when you came into government in 2021, you worked on the issue of reducing unnecessary roadblocks. And the Zambians want to say you did a good job. But we still have issues with the same police officers. On the issue of speed cameras, and I would also marry with the issue of Mandai. Because issue of theft or thieves, on the other side, we are fighting it if it's happening at the lower class. But on the other side, it's a challenge. But at the end of the day, they are all thieves. What are you doing to keep the issue at Mandayu and the issue of unnecessary speed traps in most of the roads where you find these police officers, these mounting these unnecessary speed cameras? At the end of the day, they are getting money from the motorists in the name of duty. So how are you making sure that the issue of safety or thieves shouldn't concentrate on one side, but even on the other side? But the only maybe difference, that one is being done in a technical way. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Well, I don't know whether it's part and parcel of this statement. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member of Parliament for Luansenshi. Madam Speaker, I just want to mention that we have taken appropriate measures. You do recall that some months ago, there were a number of break-ins at shopping malls. We investigated, we checked the CCTV systems, and we identified the culprits. Most of those culprits, Madam Speaker, who were breaking in cars at trading areas and other areas were of Zimbabwean origin. We arrested them. They are appearing in court. At least for the time being, the situation has stabilized. We have enhanced the CCTV systems around Lusaka. We are monitoring. I want to inform members of the public that we are monitoring what is happening through CCTVs. We are able to see what happens at Soweto Market, along the streets in Lusaka, on the core belt, and in Livingstone from our command center. We are able to see those who are inciting members of the public. They are on camera, they are videos. And we record what you are saying. It's not a violation of human rights. It is our responsibility to provide security. And for the information of the public, we are not the ones who put those cameras. We found them. They were intended to be used against us. But they were putting to good use to track the actual criminals who are terrorizing members of the public. Congratulations for putting them there. We are using them very well.
The Honorable, Honorable Minister, you may continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are doing everything possible, as I've said, to ensure that public areas are safe. We still have a number of cameras which we want to install in certain strategic areas. I'm also aware, Madam Speaker, that there are certain areas that are of interest, like the Honorable Member of Chitambo indicated, the Great North Road at the stadium there. A number of our people have been terrorized. We have taken measures. Those who have been terrorizing our people will not be able to do it, because we have put measures, which I'm not going to disclose, but the police will be present in those areas. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Bwana Mkubwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. My question, Minister, first and foremost, we appreciate your submission. Especially, I want to comment on a safe city, which you've already, I think, started to submit on, because we would like to find out, Minister, the issue of the safe city, because when will the act come so that it can be fully implemented? As you've already alluded to, in the safe city, you're able to view what is happening around the city, and I think technologically we need to advance to ensure that we combat crime. But I think what I want to find out is, when are you fully implementing the safe city project to ensure that much of those equipments, which some of them are lying in districts, are put to good use to ensure that we can enhance security in our nation? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The law pertaining to the management of safe city is ready. It will be brought to the House for enactment.
The Honorable Member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minister, I'm just worried that those cameras, you haven't even put them in our bedrooms, because I'm scared you are checking everywhere. That is on the right note. We all know that what is happening at curfew roundabout, a good number of those people, we cannot pretend or beat by the bush. We know that Chivoria and Kanyama are breeding areas where the city produces junkies. Now, my question to you, Minister, no, not about the MP. Minister, is it possible or is it impossible for us to make sure that those young boys and men who are terrorizing us, because I lost the phone as well, by the way, on the same area. So the question is it possible that we can put uniformed police officers? I think that's the only way we can keep those areas. Is it possible that you can maybe set up a certain special branch, or special unit, to make sure that they're just in plain clothes and keep that vice which is happening around that area? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My colleague, if you listen to what I had said we are deploying non-uniformed police officers in those areas. Further, we are also deploying uniformed officers around that area to be patrolling, and we have already started that.
The Honorable Member for Nkana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, for the very first time, your words are very assuring that at least the members of the public now can be guaranteed of safety and security owing to the safe city cameras. Because with the revelation of people disappearing, we now can be assured that the police should not struggle to find out who is abducting people. I just hope, Mr. Speaker, or rather, Madam Speaker and Honorable Minister, that these safe city cameras will not be shut down as the case was when Honorable JJ was abducted. Is that a guarantee you are giving to the Zambian people, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, Honorable Minister? Is that a guarantee you are giving to the Zambian people that they should now be comforted that the police, aided by those safe city cameras, would now be able to address all these criminalities that are being reported? Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Just a reminder before the Honorable Minister comes in, let's avoid bringing issues that are before the courts. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to comprehensively respond to the allegations that are being made by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Nkana. And he has been very consistent in this House and outside the House pertaining to the violation of human rights and abductions. Madam Speaker, I would like to make it clear that the police of Zambia, under the Zambia Police Service, under the New Dawn, do not abduct. They arrest criminals who have offended the law. I'm aware the interest the Member of Parliament has. These tendencies by leaders encouraging criminality, by sponsoring Munyaule to be defaming and making hate speech cannot be tolerated. If your workers under Munyaule have been arrested by the police, don't blame the police. Advise people to be law-abiding. We know what people have been doing. They have been sponsoring members of the public to create anarchy in this country, to make hate speeches. Some of them are in this country, some of them are outside the country. Those who are in the country, we have started arresting them. Those who are managing Munyaule and other forums will be arrested. They will be answerable to the laws of this country. Criminals, Madam Speaker.
Order, honorable members.
Madam Speaker.
Order. Honorable Minister, give me a chance. Honorable members, why are we debating while seated? And the idea of even shouting, no, you are reducing the dignity of the House. You are reducing the dignity of the House. Can we please stop debating while seated, unless if you are given the floor? The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, I'm happy to note my colleagues have been encouraging the police to arrest those who are committing crimes on Kafue Road. A crime is a crime under the statutes of this country. Those who are making deliberately this country to be ungovernable will be answerable. If you don't commit any offense, no one is going to touch you. It is the responsibility of Zambia police to go for all those who are committing crimes in this country. And we know those who are financing Munyaule and other hate forums in this country. The intention of those forums is to bring this country on its knees, create chaos, which is worse crime. Those who are breaking into cars along Kafue Road, or those who want to cause anarchy in the country and cause chaos. Who is worse? We should not allow our beautiful country to be destroyed by people who are failing to win elections. We should not allow that. This country, if you want to assume office, you form a political party, stand as a president, and win. There is no need to form a Achaba Iche and then be hiding behind certain forum. There is no need. Come on in the open and campaign and win election. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
There is an indication for a point of order. The Honorable Member for Chama South was the first one.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, I refer to our standing orders, which clearly state that the information being provided on the floor of this House should not only be factual, but verifiable. Madam Speaker, Honorable Member for Nkana made insinuations, and Madam Speaker, this was also through you disseminated to the people of Petauke. Madam Speaker, when people in the villages are told information, especially information coming from us, members of Parliament, and this has been repeated on the floor of this House, that the disappearance of Honorable JJ from the hospital to wherever he is was done by the government. And yet, Honorable Bino Mpundu knows too well that they were themselves behind the movement of JJ from... Madam Speaker, this is very serious.
Members, order. You may take your seat, Honorable Member. Order. Order, honorable members, order. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. The honorable member for Chama South. Order, honorable members. The honorable member for Nkana, can you please go back to your seat? Can we have order in the House? The honorable member for Nkana. The honorable member for Nkana, I think your conduct is not good in the House. I'm actually forced to tell you to leave the House. There is no way you can behave like that in this dignified House. When you have a problem, you just indicate, and your matter shall be sorted out. I had not even made the ruling. I was in fact in the process of even asking the honorable member for Chama South to stop with his point of order, because I had guided to say that matter is before the courts. But the reaction from the honorable member for Nkana is unacceptable. So the honorable member for Nkana, please, can you leave the House for today? We want order in the House. And the honorable member for Chama South, I won't allow you to conclude on your point of order, because I had indicated that the matter is actually before the courts. We make progress. I have also permitted the Honorable Minister of Health to present a ministerial statement. The Honorable Minister of Health. Can you move out quietly? The Honorable Member for Milanze, please just move quietly. We want to continue with work. honorable members. Order. Can we allow the Minister of Health to render his ministerial statement? The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First and foremost, I would like to express my appreciation for this opportunity to update the nation through this August House on events threatening the public health security of our people and our country, Zambia. This is with particular reference to the country status on cholera outbreak. Allow me to reiterate to this August House that this government, through the enable leadership of Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, the President of the Republic of Zambia, attaches great importance to the securing of health of our people. Madam Speaker, Zambia has been responding to an outbreak of cholera which started on the 26th December 2024 in Nakonde district. After Nakonde, the outbreak has now spread to other parts of the country: Copperbelt, Lusaka, Central and Northwestern provinces. Madam Speaker, the following is the current situation of the cholera outbreak in the country as at 14th February 2025. Nakonde, 26 December 2024, cumulated number of cases 26, cumulated brought in dead 1. Chilarombwe, 24th January 2025, cumulated number of cases 230, brought in dead 7. Lusaka, 31st January 2025, cumulated cases 1, cumulated deaths 0. Ndola, 20th January 2025, cumulative numbers of cases 2, cumulative BIDs 0. Kitwe, 20th January 2025, cumulative numbers of cases 8, cumulated brought in dead 1. Chingola, 20th January 2025, cumulated number of cases 14, cumulated BIDs 0. Karumbila, 7th February 2025, number of cases 3, BIDs 0. Sorezi, 7th February 2025, cumulative cases 1, BIDs 0. Ngawe, 9th February 2025, cases 1, BIDs 0. Countrywide, total, as at 14th February 2025, 286. Cumulative BIDs, 8. In response to the development, government promptly activated its emergency response mechanism to manage the situation effectively. Madam Speaker, in order to curb the spread and mitigate the impact of the outbreak, government has taken the following measures. 1. Establishment of cholera treatment centers. Cholera treatment centers have been set up in all districts affected by cholera, and staff have been mobilized to support treatment care and support to the patients and their families. As a result of the good care, no deaths have been recorded in any of the treatment facilities. 2. Contact tracing. Contact tracing is being conducted to identify individuals who may have come into contact with confirmed cases to ensure early detection of cases and early management to avoid deaths. 3. Case area targeted intervention. Madam Speaker, deliberate efforts, which include door-to-door sensitization, chlorine distribution, disinfection of toilets, and super-chlorination of wells in the affected areas, is underway to reduce transmission of the disease, which have proven to be highly effective in reducing transmission and limiting geographical spread of the disease. 4. Provision of safe water and sanitation. Further, efforts are being made to provide safe water and sanitation facilities to affected communities through water bowsers. In addition, water tanks have been supplied to affected communities. Madam Speaker, For purposes of strengthening response efforts and achieving optimal results, government has engaged in cross-border collaboration with Tanzania, a country experiencing a similar outbreak. Number 6, enhanced health surveillance. Madam Speaker, rapid response continue to monitor the situation for early detection and management of new cases. This is meant to avoid further spread of the disease across communities and geographical locations. 7, risk communication and community engagement. Madam Speaker, risk communication and community engagement activities are key to managing outbreaks of public health importance and promoting behavior change. For this particular purpose, dissemination of information, education and communication materials on cholera prevention through community outreach, radio and television campaigns have been heightened. Madam Speaker, further training of community health workers and leaders to promote hygiene practices and early identification of cases continues to be conducted. 8, stockpiles of medicines and medical supplies. Madam Speaker, essential supplies, including oral rehydration salts, antibiotics, and IV fluids, have been supplied for treatment purposes. Additionally, cholera vaccinations have been conducted in Nakonde and Chilabombwe. In addition, training for implementation of cholera vaccination campaigns. Vaccination will result in reduced numbers of cholera cases. Madam Speaker, multi-sectoral collaboration with partners. We continue to work closely with both international and local partners, such as the World Health Organization, WHO, UNICEF, Red Cross, World Bank, Africa, and several other bodies and agencies to ensure that health care facilities are supported with personnel, other technical expertise, and resources to manage the outbreak. Without this support, we would not. 10, water, sanitation, and hygiene interventions. Madam Speaker, government is working to improve access to safe water, sanitation facilities, and promoting good hygiene practices. To this effect, the following is being done. A, analysis of water samples and supply of clean and safe water to affected communities by water bosses. B, sinking boreholes in areas of need. C, provision of water storage facilities to affected areas for water storage. D, shippers of bottled chlorine have been donated by UNICEF and WHO. E, waste collection and safe disposal from affected areas and the community. 11, inspection of sanitary facilities in public premises. The district has intensified inspections of sanitary public premises at Kasumbalesa border. These premises failing to meet the standards and operating contrary to the provisions of existing laws are either demolished or closed. 12, oral chlorine vaccination. Madam Speaker, a vaccination campaign is currently underway to protect all eligible people aged 1 and above in Chilabombwe district. 100% of targeted population in Chilabombwe and Nakonde. Further, with support from WHO, government has obtained approval from the International Coordinating Group on Cholera response to repurposing of oral chlorine vaccine from country stockpile of 1.6 doses to areas that will reporting cases. This will support the extension of the vaccination campaign in Kitwe to be conducted from 17th to 23rd February, targeting hotspot areas in 11 wards in the district. I would further like to inform the public through the August House that oral cholera
All the
vaccines are
honorable
safe.
members at the back on my right.
I would further like to inform the public through the August House that oral cholera vaccines are safe and are effective short-term measure in preventing cholera infections and transmission with no side effects. Madam Speaker, in conclusion, I would like to implore the general public to adhere to public health preventative measures and guidelines that are being given while pressing emphasis on the following. 1. Drinking clean and safe water, either boiled or chlorinated and stored in clean containers. 2. Frequent hand washing with soap and safe water, especially before, during, and after food preparation and after using the toilet. 3. Report urgently seek medical attention at the nearest.
Thank you. Honorable members, questions on points of clarification on the ministerial statement presented by the Honorable Minister of Health. The Honorable Member for Chama South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, our hardworking Minister of Health. Honorable Minister, I want to find out, because the Chilavombwe being a town on the Copper Belt, it is expected that it has one of the, at least the good water supply system. In your opinion, this cholera outbreak there, has it to do with the water contamination, or indeed it is the sanitary situation in terms of waste disposal? What has been the main cause of this cholera, especially in Chilavombwe, and what immediate measures have you put in place to ensure that our people there are safe? I submit, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, our good member, Chama South, for that good question. Kasumbalesa, as you know, is a trading area, and most of the people go there for business, and most of them sleep in containers to transact business. The total head count of the population there is 19,000, but every day we have trackers about 5,000 to 6,000. Total, when we conclude, it's about almost 30,000 of people. And when you go in Kasumbalesa, there are no working public toilets. And there are wells, shallow wells. There are 3,597 shallow wells. All those, when we tested the water, they are all contaminated with the fecal matter. So this government decided, first of all, to chlorinate those wells. In the meantime, at the same time, we want to connect to water with my colleague from Water and Sanitation using those tanks, but those are not sufficient. We are also putting up boreholes, about 8 to 10 boreholes in different places. Further to that, we have asked Minister of Finance under emergency to help us with financing for connection of the water, and also putting up public toilets working in connection with the council. Most of the cholera cases in Nakonde, I mean in Chilavombwe, they are as a result of drinking contaminated water. But then we intend to bury all those shallow wells and all those pit latrines by those interventions that we are putting in place. At the moment, we have vaccinated near everyone, including myself who was there, and my colleague here, the area member of Parliament. And we thank him for his quick intervention. Also has been helping us with the foodstuffs and what have you to his members of the area, those who are affected. We are in control. One good thing is this: nobody has died at our centers. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Kanyama.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to ask a follow-up question. Honorable Minister, I want to thank your institution for the measures that you have put in place to ensure that this does not spread, to other many, parts of the country. But learning from the past, I think a number of measures that you have put in place, I think they have been, utilized but to some extent we could not reach the much intended, goal. Thank you so much.
That's better.
Oh, thank you. But you should have reminded me, Madam Speaker.
All the honorable members on my left.
Yeah, I was saying, I want to thank the ministry for the efforts they have put in place to ensure that the spread of this, traumatizing, outbreak, like you may be aware, last year, I think some of us had even, lost some cages, just not thinking about the outbreak. The measures that were put in place, quite all right, they're good, and we have seen the reduction in the spread of this outbreak. But learning from the past, Zambia has experienced a number of outbreaks. We have had, COVID, of which it was contained. And among the measures that were put were some restrictions in movements, knowing that this cholera, is transmitted through people who are affected. And look, it started from Nakonde down into, and if you look at that route, you realize that it's drivers who are coming from Nakonde through into Congo and that stretch. So why can't we, among the measures that we put in place, why can't we look at the movement of the people to see to it that at least it's managed so that people are not just moving carelessly? I submit.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Honorable Member of Parliament for Kanyama. And I should thank the colleagues, those who are working with, who are quite vigilant. Yes, if you look at the numbers, we seem to have contained it, but we should not be too proud, but we should remain very, very vigilant. If you have observed, Nakonde is at the border, Kasumbalesa at the border. Movements of the people is difficult to control because of trading. But what we have done in Kasumbalesa, we have put a barrier there. Anybody coming out of Kasumbalesa is being disinfected, both the vehicle and the human being themselves. But there are those who traveled earlier, like that case of Lusaka. That's a person who came from Chirabombwe, passing via Lusaka, going all the way to Senanga. But when we trace the contacts, they are quite safe because he was treated here. It's true to put up barriers, but the issues of cholera is just personal hygiene. And you see, these unplanned areas are the major cause. Look at Kasumbalesa, this total population. There are no public toilets. How do people help themselves there? That's the question. But anyway, we have taken it up by ourselves under images. We need working with the council as a public health concerned. We are going to put up public toilets in the Kasumbalesa, and also we shall extend to Nakonde, so that at least even also put up clean water by providing boreholes and also connecting through water and sanitation in those tanks. That is the safer way for the people in those areas. In addition, we have provided also tanks in various areas for people to be washing their hands especially after using toilet, and also avoiding contact. And also, we are sensitizing the members of the public very, very actively through the radios and also public announcements. I thank you.
The Honorable Member for Kabwata.
I'm grateful, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, it is said that prevention, prevention is cheaper than actually treatment. It's a notorious fact that both the previous government, PF, and also the 5 years that we've been in power, the 3.5 years, close to 2 years that we've been in power as UPND, we haven't done much in terms of recruitment of these soldiers who are supposed to fight these pandemics, the public health nurses. These nurses are the soldiers who are supposed to go right into our communities. And I'm happy that I'd actually give credit to Dr. Chilufya for having started this initiative. Public health nurses, these are critical soldiers that are supposed to fight.
Honorable Member, is it possible you can go straight to the question after summarizing all those points, because you are educating us on who the public health nurses are?
Honorable Minister, I wanted to find out what is it that we are doing to these soldiers who are supposed to fight this scourge of cholera, typhoid in different communities. And yet, if you look at the statistics of the way we've been recruiting, they are very minimal. So what is it that we're doing to these public health nurses? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Kawata, Member of Parliament. You should thank this government. Ever since we came into power, the recruitment of personnel to undertake health care has increased. Both nurses and doctors. It's unprecedented, actually. Community health workers, at the moment we recruited about 11,000. Except that population like Lusaka is too big. The numbers when we distribute it countrywide, you can't see the impact. But now, furthermore, we are recruiting many. And I'm happy Lusaka, by now, the spread is contained. It's not like it was before, where we lost 700 lives. At the moment, I thank you, Lusaka, they have been listening, maybe due to our continued sensitization. We are continuing, but the fact is we need to have enough money to recruit. This is Global Fund which is helping us to recruit these community health workers. That's the ambitious program that we have embarked on. It is quite effective. It's not that because of what Dr. Chilufya was there before. It's the envelope resource. If we had money, we have got even nurses, doctors who are pending, who we can employ so that we can curb the diseases. It is actually mindset also which should be alert for us to be disease-free. We should be comparing ourselves with other countries. How are they managing? It's cleanness, especially cholera, and also contact. Zambia is a trading area now, contact. Other trucks going to Congo, trucks coming from Tanzania. This disease is being spread through also movements of trade. This we can't just say we can just get rid of it. But what we need to do is to avoid direct contact with the travelers. We have enough human resources, especially our personnel. That's why you have seen in Nakonde we contained it within the shortest possible time. And also in Kasumbalesa, if we were not vigilant, the spread would have been quite high. With public health nurses, all these numbers, they will be swelling as the Treasury improves and gives us money. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honourable Minister, it's unfortunate that 60 years after independence, we can still be recording cases of cholera. I think needless to say that this is due to, of course, our people consuming contaminated water and also, I think, due to poor sanitation. Honourable Minister, prevention is better than cure. I wanted to know progress made in terms of administering cholera vaccines to our people, because I believe that that's the only way we are able to eradicate this disease. So, how many people have been vaccinated so that we are able to eradicate this cholera? I thank you.
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Chairman North, Member of Parliament. Indeed, it's shameful. 60 years of independence, we are still grappling with the cholera. Cholera is personal hygiene. Personal hygiene. We were in Nakonde. We vaccinated now everyone, including those providing services. And also we had a request that our colleagues, like in uniform, at these borders, they need to be also to be vaccinated. I think we have to do that. We are calling upon themselves. We led by example ourselves at Nakonde in Kasumbalesa. We got the vaccination, and I would urge our members of parliament, because we are not exempt. we need also to take that vaccination. All those administering, all those the frontliners, they are vaccinated. And in fact, we have got the safe clothing in those areas. We have been there several times. And even last year when we lost the 700 people, most of our nieces were safe. Those we are taking adequate measures to protect them. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
But would you know the number of people that have been vaccinated? I think that was his question.
I would say, let me use statistics. In Nakonde, I didn't just come with the numbers, we reached 100%. And also in Kasumbalesa, we are almost 100% of vaccination. The actual details of the numbers, I didn't include them here, but we have them.
Thank you.
And now we are moving also to Kitwe as well. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Member for Chikankata.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Minister, for your good submission. Minister, in your submission, Copper Belt is topping, particularly Chilavombwe, and Lusaka is on the lower side. And we know that in the recent past, Lusaka used to top up because of the population, but now we are on the lower side. What are the factors that have caused such a positive development? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
I think earlier on, Madam Speaker, I said, I think Lusaka is now up to sensitization and they are listening. We've been talking about this issue every now and then from the ministry. We need also to go everywhere to sensitize people. Here, I think people are now adhering, and also with the interventions that were put up in Kanyama. You know, Kanyama was the hotspot for cholera. I think people there, and I thank the MP and the other people with the interventions that we are putting up. We are also working with marketeers so that they can adhere to cleanness. Madam Speaker, let me take advantage to explain also further on the stockpile of the doses. We've got 1.6 million doses, and Chilavombwe, we vaccinated 120,421, which is about 99%. I should thank everyone, actually, for being vigilant. Cholera can kill any of us, just like COVID did. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Mukushi North.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Minister, in your statement, I think we heard that the most prone areas are the borders, and you have cited Kasumbalesa and Nakonde. But you have also taken measures that you are actually trying to curb the virus to spread or the disease to spread. Are you also considering taking the same or replicating the same measures in these other border districts? Because I would say so, ourselves in Mukushi, we also bordering DRC. So are you willing or are you indeed intending to replicate the same measures in these other prone areas, rather that would be prone areas, the border areas like Chilondo, Livingstone, everywhere where we have travelers moving from one point to another? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, Mukushi North. Yes, we need to move in that direction. First and foremost, we could not administer vaccine before. WHO does not allow. It means if we do it before an outbreak, it means that you need to receive it twice. But if there is an outbreak, you only receive it once. And as such, we need to take certain measures. Where there is an outbreak, we take it. But now, because of lack of the vaccines, but we should thank the President of the Republic of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema, who went to China. We want to start now manufacturing the vaccine here. Very soon a team is going to China to do pre-testing of the vaccine. So once that vaccine, China, is giving us about 3 million doses, I think we shall go countrywide. But mind you, it's just a temporary measure. But we need to stockpile those so that we can give near everyone in this country. Those measures we are taking, we need to spread them to all borders, especially very active borders, as you have mentioned. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Chifubu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the people of Chifubu an opportunity. Honorable Minister, what is your ministry doing in coordinating with other ministries such as the Ministry of Local Government and the Ministry of Water Development? Because we have challenges in areas where we are coming from, particularly under Ministry of Local Government, we find that they have been mushrooming shabins in residential areas where people go and drink just around houses and they are sharing rooms of convenience with members of the family, which have become breeding grounds for cholera. Members of Parliament have done their best to acquire the earth-moving equipment, which the local authority are not using to the expectation to collect garbage, as well as the Ministry of Water Development. They have not done their best to supply water, particularly in affected areas. And also we have blocked sewerage lines in the residential areas, which have become breeding ground. What step is your ministry doing in coordinating with these sister ministries to fight cholera? Thank you so much.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Chifu, Member of Parliament, for bringing up this. There is collaboration with the Ministry of Water and Sanitation and also local government. But the key issue which we need to tackle with is unplanned settlement. Unplanned settlement is a problem. As we sit in these councils, and I hope this constitutional amendment comes very soon, so that we go back into councils and help, so that we become part and parcel of the councils to resolve this issue, to help the councils with planning. Yes, and planned settlement like we are talking about Kasumbalesa, Nakonde, and in other areas. These shanty compounds, this is the source of this problem we are talking about. We need to be clear in our mind on how you plan so that we can provide water in a planned manner, sewerage lines. As I'm talking in Kasumbalesa, there is none. None. Even those public toilets, we are just dislodging them now using Ministry of Health, Public Health Department. And this is what we want to do also in Nakonde. We are working together with the local government, as you are aware. It's now decentralization, there's decentralization. Public health in these communities, in these areas, we shall work together to make sure that we provide also public toilets and then contain these diseases. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Kanchiwia.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you for your statement, a very important statement. Allow me to probably take a slightly different angle and speak to the culture, and that we, as a matter of fact, ought to be ashamed as a nation that we can be talking about cholera year in and year out, because it's not just about medical interventions, etc., but it's also about who we are as a people. The indiscriminate throwing of garbage. Honorable Minister, have a lot of work to do, reminding Easterners to wash their hands before they can eat, food. Some of them, even at breaks, just observe. From here, they'll go and touch food without even washing their hands. So the question, Honorable Minister, is there's a sense of discipline that ought to work if we're going to realign the mindset of our people. It's not just about teaching and lecturing, but it's also a certain level of discipline. Is the ministry, or would the ministry consider, or government consider, also making use of the military, and especially the military, in this regard, just to get our people to realign, because it's a shame when you look at the amount of garbage in the capital city, amount of garbage on the Copper Belt. It's totally unacceptable. Thank you, Honourable Minister.
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honourable Member of Parliament for Kanchiwia. I totally agree with you. The issue of culture, mindset, I don't know where we have adopted from. Throwing litter, throwing garbage anyhow. Working with my colleague Minister of Local Government, you saw, we shut down those who are building even on top of this drainage. And we thank people of Lusaka for cooperating with us. I think this is the way we should go. All of us, we should get involved. But good news is this. Your president, who went to Japan, has found new technology that is coming in. Today, do you see scrap in town? No, because there is value to that scrap. People are picking it everywhere. Your president has invited some company coming with new technology. People will be rushing to pick that cabbage, which will be transformed and used for energy creation. Very soon, people will be looking for cabbage. Those are the initiatives of this government. It's very, very good news. I hope they can come tomorrow so that people now be picking cabbage and supplying, and there will be no cabbage. I think that's one way, indirectly, for dealing with this issue. We thank the President's innovation. I thank you very much.
The Honourable Member for Solwezi East.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Minister, you have highlighted the measures that you have taken, especially at the border areas. I want to find out if those who are coming in or even getting to the border areas, apart from just disinfecting them, are they also compelled to take the cholera vaccine? Just wanted that clarification. Thank you.
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Thank you very much. I think that's the ideal situation. But to capture them at times it has been difficult. Maybe we need now to set up a table. It's a very good suggestion. We have actually also to vaccinate them. But you see, to get vaccination is a voluntary issue. We can't force. But because of the spread, I think we shall look into it. Thank you, Madam.
The Honourable Member for Shiwangandu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me start by wishing you and the rest of our gallant ladies a happy Valentine's Day. Madam Speaker, I can see most of my colleagues are so patient. Madam Speaker, Honourable Minister, the movement of our people in those border areas, Nakonde, Kasumbalesa, is open-ended. The challenges of non-restrictive border controls allow our people to flow on a daily basis. And that movement might actually render the efforts we have done of vaccinating our people on one side actually fruitless, because the daily movements are something that you can't avoid. What efforts are you putting in place to ensure that when you are doing such an important activity on the Zambian side, be it in Akonde or Kasumbalesa, there is a reciprocal, arrangement on the other side of the border, so that that movement is somehow, dealt with by if it's vaccinating the people on our side, the other side equally people are vaccinated. If we don't do that, I can assure you, Honourable Minister, that all the efforts you are putting in, all the money you are spending there might just be fruitless. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Before the Minister comes in, there's an indication for a point of order. The Honourable Member for Lunte, what is your point of order?
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Madam Speaker, transparency and accountability on the part of the executive is a constitutional requirement. Madam Speaker, the Honourable Minister of Health, when responding to a question, has referred to the fact that constitutional amendments are coming soon. Madam Speaker, the Constitution is not a document for the UPND government. It is a document for the Zambian people. Why is the UPND government hiding the Zambian people that soon they want to amend the Constitution without telling the people and telling us so that we can go to our constituents and tell our people that this government wants to amend the constitution 1 year before they leave office. Madam Speaker, I seek your serious ruling, and this particular point of order is on the entire UPND government.
Order. From what I heard being mentioned by the minister, indeed he said there will be some constitution amendment. The time frame he didn't give us. Unless if he gave us the time frame, because all what I know is that there is usually a procedure for constitution amendment, which goes together with a time frame. So as at now, it's just a mention to say there will be a constitution amendment, and it ended there. We don't know when that will take place, because actually that is supposed to be announced. But by the just mentioning that there will be a constitution amendment, it ends there. It doesn't necessarily mean that maybe the government is hiding something. And moreover, you are supposed to offer checks and balances. If the constitution amendment won't be followed the way it's supposed to be done, that's where you are there. You give guide. So for now, we are just hearing that there will be a constitution amendment. I heard that even yesterday and today. How it will be done, I think the executive are supposed to come and inform the House and the nation at large. So as at now, we are just told there will be a constitution amendment. So the executive will come back at a later, when they are ready, just to announce their roadmap. It's not only the people who are in this House that are interested in that constitution amendment, even the people out there. So the executive, when you are ready, please come to the House and tell the nation when that constitution amendment will take place and the roadmap. So as at now, I don't think it's right to say they are hiding something. This is a national matter which has to be brought to the House and to the country at large. So I think the Honorable Minister, in his own way, when he's saying there will be a constitution amendment, it ends there, he's not out of order. We are all waiting to hear what next when it will be brought to the House and the nation informed. So we make progress. I'll allow the last member, the Honorable Member for Kankoyo. Oh, sorry. That's the problem with points of order. The Honorable Minister of Health, you can respond to the question that was raised by the Honorable Member for Shiwangandu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And for clarifying what I said, that in the Council there is a gap. If there will be, that's what I used. Anyway, I thank you, Madam Speaker, for being very clear on that matter. And I thank you, Member of Parliament for Shiwangandu. That's the way it's supposed to be. But we cannot force our colleagues. But we are having discussions.
All the honorable members.
We have engaged our colleagues on the Congo side, and also we have engaged our colleagues on the Tanzanian side. But the measures they take also to vaccinate their people, that one we can't control it. But it's a very valid point for sure, what you have put. And I think at bilateral level, you know the mechanism. We need to bring it up to them. And Zambia is the chair for Africa CDC. As we are meeting as CDC, we shall bring it up to compel neighboring countries to run in a similar manner. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
We make progress. Questions for oral answer under Standing Order 82. The Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 189.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Mutaya Charo, Chama North, would like to find out from the Minister of Health, A, why the government, as at 31st January 2025, transferred about 52 health workers from various health facilities in the Chama district without replacing them, thereby affecting health service delivery in the district. And in B, he would like to find out what urgent measures are being taken to fill up the vacancies and ensure staff retention in the district. Madam Speaker, I wish to acknowledge the concerns over the staff movement of about 52 workers under Chama District Health Office payroll. This movement spans over the 3 years. Indeed, it is regrettable that this was an anomaly not to replace these health workers. The officers in question are presently not available in the district because they were administratively transferred from the district to various other institutions where they are currently serving for various reasons, including to join their spouses. One officer was convicted in 2024 and her salary has been locked pending the conclusion of disciplinary procedures. Out of 52, 24 are serving in Muchinga province when Chama was under that province, while 11 are serving in Eastern province. The rest are spread across the country pending normalization of their transfers to their new stations. Madam Speaker, in A, the government is implementing some measures to mitigate this challenge. Some of these measures are as follows. A, the Ministry of Health is prioritizing the normalization of transfers for officers that are misplaced on the payroll. 2, the government has since discontinued processing administrative transfers except in exceptional circumstances as approved by Civil Service Commission. 3, as part of the recruitment of health workers for 2024, out of the 21 positions allocated to Chama District, 17 have since been reported as of 13th February 2025. The government will continue to prioritize recruitment from local communities to enhance retention for staff, especially in rural and unserved areas. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Supplementary questions? The Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Minister, for that response. Honorable Minister, Chama District has 147,000, that's the population. And the move actually to transfer these health workers has really created a huge deficit. For example, at Chama General Hospital, we have only 12 nurses who are the midwives. They are only 12. And you are aware, Honorable Minister, that they're supposed to be per shift in the morning 2, afternoon 2, evening 2. So meaning that these health workers are not even resting. We have an increase in maternal deaths as a result of these transfers. So my question is, I know that these people are working in urban areas, but the pay slip is showing Chama, but they are here in town. So what are those workers going to be sent back to Chama, or you allow the the indigenous people themselves to be employed? Because I think that's the instance why we were employing per district to avoid people being transferred. So what measures are you putting in place? Because their pay slips are showing Chama, but they're in urban areas. But on your database is showing that Chama has got these health workers, but they're not there. So are these workers going to go back to Chama, or we are going to give us those 52 workers without further delay. I submit.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Madam Speaker, we sympathize with our colleague. Indeed, that's an anomaly. But when this government came into power, it found a terrible habit where people were being transferred, dismissed on political lines. For example, a wife to Honorable Member of Parliament is based in Chama simply because he didn't support a certain party, would be transferred to Chavuma. We are trying to normalize that so that people could be brought back with their families. That was one of the reasons. But we have realized that case-on-case issue, we shall scrutinize and see exactly. And for you, be rest assured that we are going to address it. We want to take stock of members of staff in every district so that we can normalize and place nurses, doctors accordingly to the size of the needs of the health care. This government cares for everyone without any segregation at all. We have heard you very clear, and the numbers are quite alarming. We shall address your issue. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Next question. Questions for oral answer under Standing Order number 80. The Honorable Member for Kasama Central. The question lapses. The member is not in the house.
We can ask on behalf of Madam Speaker.
Next question. The Honorable Member for Chinsari.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 191.
The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Order. As the time is 10:40 hours, I suspend business for 20 minutes.
Good morning and thank you for still being with us on Parliament Television. The House has taken a 20-minute break, and at the time business was being suspended, on the floor of the House was the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, who was just about to start responding to a question for oral answer under Standing Order 80, and that is question 191, which has been asked by Mr. Kalalwe Mukosa, who is Chinsali Member of Parliament. And so when business resumes after the break, we do expect the Minister to continue responding to this question.
Business did resume at 09 hours, and when business resumed, Madam Speaker made two announcements. And in the first announcement, she did recognize the presence in the public gallery of visitors from China Jiangxi Corporation for International Economic and Technical Corporation Zambia Limited in Lusaka District. And on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, Madam Speaker did welcome the visitors to the National Assembly of Zambia.
And the other announcement that Madam Speaker made is where she informed the House that the following ministerial statements were supposed to be presented to the House: the effect of suspension of aid from U.S. government and on load shedding. Madam Speaker did inform the House that at the request of the Executive, the two statements will instead be rendered next week. And so far the House has considered two ministerial statements. The first one was rendered by the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Honorable Jacob Mwimbu MP, and this was on the prevalence of thefts from motor vehicles at Kafue roundabout in Lusaka district.
And the second one came from the Minister of Health, who did issue a ministerial statement and actually gave an update on cholera situation in the country.
And on that note, we also take a break. Do join us on the other side. Keep watching Parliament Television.
Keep watching Parliament Television, a station that brings Parliament closer to you.
Parliament TV, bringing Parliament closer to you.